Hello, and welcome to the Glove Supplier Due Diligence Series, Provenance and Patterns of Fraud, Part 2. My name is David Lawrence. I'm an Illinois qualified attorney living and working here in Bangkok, Thailand since 2010, with my relevant experience being in-house counsel for the parent company of Sri Trang Gloves, Thailand, public company limited, Thailand's largest supplier of medical gloves. Okay, today we're going to talk about provenance. That is where your gloves come from. Do you care? Should you care? And if you don't care, are there any consequences? Makes a little bit of sense to recap how we got to this point. So I did a series on using the FDA database to conduct due diligence on your potential suppliers. And the two takeaways from that series were, one, anyone with $2,000 or $3,000 and a willingness to lie can make it look like they have a factory, whether or not they do. And similarly, anyone who can get their hands on some gloves can apply for a 510K. Okay. Then we did another video on whether a 510K was still required to import medical gloves into Thailand. And my conclusion was yes, if it's going to be under standard labeling without special labeling under the FDA's enforcement guidance policy, then certainly you will still need a 510K to import LZA, which is the nitrile glove. Okay, so let's get into it. Do you care? Okay, a lot of people don't obviously care where the gloves come from. By example, if you go down to the port of Lam Chabang in Thailand today, you could probably get your hands on some gloves that are just imported into the free zone in containers or bags, big bags of from unregulated factories overseas, and then you can take those gloves, repackage them in your own boxes, and then send them to the U.S. If you've got a 510K associated with your registration, they may even make it through customs. Okay, they may have been quality tested. You may quality test them. You may not. But the bottom line is that they aren't coming from where you've said they're coming from, and so they are misbranded, illegal, and/or counterfeit medical device. So they arrive. You distribute them. So there's no problem, right? Maybe there's no problem. Maybe none of the gloves breaks and no one gets an infection and die. So, it's a no harm, no foul situation, as some would look at it. So should you care about that? I would say first, I believe, and I'm not going to moralize to you because I don't put my morals on other people. A medical device fraud is pretty disgusting as a practice. But forget about the morals. Should you care? Well, no harm, no foul is not the approach that the FDA is taking. Okay, they may have been caught on the back foot for some of these things with the pandemic and everything they have to do, but they care. Okay, and there are consequences, but you don't have to take my word for it. Let's look at the consequences. Okay, we can go here to the compliance and investigations. Let me reduce my window here so we can see better. Okay, criminal investigations, all recent press releases. Okay. 1, 2, this is just in this month and a little bit of last month. They've published, there's 514 entries and they've published about 10 or 12. Yeah, they've published 10 in the last 3 or 4 weeks. Okay, so this is a lot. And this is more than you would see in a normal time, certainly. And we have owner of consumer products testing company pleads guilty to $46 million fraud scheme. Okay, we talked about testing and how the companies don't care about what they test. So there's certainly consequences. The FDA does not take a no harm, no foul approach. So if you're considering importing misbranded devices, I think you should think twice, because in the end, it's the people in the U.S. who are going to get caught holding the bag, and that could be you, maybe not. Maybe you'll get away with it, but it's not a risk I'm willing to take or to allow my clients to take. But certainly, you make your own choices in life, and I hope you choose wisely.